Russian. Hello everyone and welcome to another interview at the Harrogate Crime Writers Festival in the library, here with another amazing guest to add to our list of people we've interviewed. We have the amazing Janice Hallett, who has written mind-bending thrillers, crime fiction thrillers like The Appeal, and now with a brand new twist in her story, an amazing looking children's book that I have right here, A Box Full of Murders, that is incredibly looking out the box, literally. No pun intended there, but yeah, fantastic. So such a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. How's your week been leading up to this? And you've got a busy schedule ahead of you now.
I've got a busy schedule here. I've got something this afternoon. I've got a panel tomorrow. I'm meeting a lot of people and speaking to a lot of people. So yeah, it's been brilliant. But it's good to have a rest from writing.
Yes.
I've been very busy writing this last week. And it's so lovely to get out and talk to real people, let alone people who are in the crime writing and reading community.
Yeah.
And that makes it extra special.
It does, because a lot of us as authors, we spend so much time sat behind a desk and we don't really venture out that often. So to get to these events and mingle and network is really kind of special. So what's kind of been the highlight for you coming to sort of these festivals? Is it that connection you get with the readers and other authors, or is it something else that's there?
I think it's meeting people who love the books.
Yeah.
Because you can, while you're sat behind your desk just writing, you can forget that what you're writing actually reaches someone and other people really get something from it and enjoy it. And when you come to an event like this, you get to speak to those people. They can come up to you and tell you what your book means to them.
Absolutely.
And that is just so priceless.
Yeah. Have you ever had like an occasion where you were quite taken back by what a fan has said to you in kind of these situations?
Many times, many times I've had people, there's someone who came up to me and said she'd read The Appeal with her mother.
Yeah.
But they hadn't spoken for the previous 15 years.
Wow.
But they both read The Appeal together, and she said they'd bonded so much over that they were now speaking again. And that's why she was crying while she was telling me. And then there was another woman who read the Twyford Code, and her father had been in prison like the main character, and she said she reconnected with him having read that book. And that's like so surprising.
I'm sure that's got to be the ultimate goal as a writer, to connect with someone to the extent where it almost changes their life.
Yeah.
Well, it has in that case. So yeah, it's an amazing thing to hear. But what's really intriguing me is that you've obviously become a bestseller through your classic style of writing, but now we've had a big turn and like a mystery switch, which is great in comparison to kind of the things you write. So the big twist in your story. So why have we now gone on to A Box Full of Murders, which is just absolutely incredible. I can't wait to get into this and read it with my daughter, who is getting into books. So
excellent.
That'd
How
be
old is
fantastic. She's 9.
Perfect.
She started dabbling with some reading and creating a few little stories herself. So I'm hoping
Excellent.
something like this will be the next thing to push her in the right direction.
Fabulous.
We could have a new author on our hands at some stage. But yeah, so why the big switch for this?
Well, interestingly, from what we were speaking about just now, I had no thoughts at all about writing for children. I consider myself an adult author. I like writing about crime and violent things and murder. But I was given a talk in Leeds, I think it was Waterstones in Leeds, and a lady queued up to have her copy of The Appeal signed, and she said that had I ever thought of writing for children?
Yeah.
And I said no, because I hadn't. And then she said, well, her 10-year-old son, who was the world's most reluctant reader, had got hold of her copy of The Appeal and read it from cover to cover. He'd followed the story, but he'd only read the speech bubbles between the two lawyers, and he'd followed the story that way. And I thought, well, this conversation could go either way, because those speech bubbles are where all the swearing is in that particular book. But no, she was so thrilled that he'd read a book, and she asked, had I thought of writing a book like that for children?
Yeah.
And that just gave me the idea.
Fantastic. Yeah, so it's interesting when an author switches their genre up a little bit, because there's an expectation from your followers. They know what they might be getting next. So what has the reaction been like with this?
It's been fabulous, I have to say, really, really good. From both adults who've read it or bought it for their young readers in their lives, to the children themselves who've read it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's absolutely wonderful, because you never really know with any book whether it's going to hit its mark until it comes out.
So in terms of creation of this book then, and the craft of writing, how do you kind of keep it at a level where children will understand and get into this story, but address things like murder that's clearly in the story without being maybe a bit too grown up for that sort of audience.
True. Well, I mean, I didn't realise when I started writing this, or before when I had the idea, that there is a whole genre of murder mysteries for children.
Yeah.
And then I thought back to what I read as a child. I read The Famous Five. Not that there wasn't so much murder, there was certainly a lot of sinister overtones in those mysteries. And you do have to change, and I admit it took me a while to get the tone correct.
Yeah.
To move it from adults to children. It took the whole publishing process of that first book to work out where I needed to be at.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's a lot of, because although you have to tone down some of the goriness, you can also up the imaginative and the funniness and the absurdity. Because children hear a lot about murder, they listen to the news, they're on the internet.
Yeah.
It's nothing in that book will be of any surprise to them. And I think it helps to read fiction like that to help them make sense of the world and to make it feel less scary.
Absolutely, yeah. So in terms of crafting, again, looking at that process, how was this comparing to your usual process of creating that book?
Very similar.
Okay.
They're pretty much similar to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't plan my novels, I set sail.
A true pantser.
I'm a pantser. I set sail without a map, and pretty much the same.
Yeah.
With both. I did have more structural editing to do on this because of that altering my tone for children. And there's another factor in the children's book. There's lots of sort of illustrations throughout, and that meant another edit to make the text fit the illustrations, which I don't have in the adult books.
Yeah. So going back to the cover, because I absolutely adore this, and it's a box full of secrets, so it looks like a box. The sprayed edges give it that whole look. So how much input do you have on the creation of the cover and the style of this?
In all honesty, not very much creative input. They do send me the covers and show me them as they're being developed, so to speak, and more so with the children's book because there's lots of illustrations inside as well. But no, I don't. I trust them.
Yes, of course.
To get it right because they know what sells to children.
Yeah.
But that spread with the top secret on it is really special.
Caught my eye instantly, and I just picked this up and bought it in the shop, in the library that they have here, or the bookstore, I guess is what it's called. And I just randomly picked that book up first with the sprayed edges, and it was the only one in there.
Wow.
So someone came up to me and said, I was questioning to Chris, and I said, how come this has got the sprayed edge? And the guy was looking through and he said, oh, you've got the last one, or the only one.
Wow.
So I feel very privileged that is the case. So before we do kind of wrap this all up, and hopefully I can get you to sign this for my daughter, because that would be brilliant. But can you let everyone know what A Box Full of Murders, kind of what the story is, so hopefully they can go and pick this up as well?
Well, A Box Full of Murders is about Luke and Ava. Luke and Ava are 9 and 10, and they're brother and sister. But their mum and dad have just split up, so they're at quite a traumatic time in their lives.
Yeah.
And they've made the decision that Luke will stay with dad and Ava will move round the corner into a flat with mum. And because they're being so good about this change, mum and dad buy them smartphones that they can keep in touch with each other after school, and to make up for being having to live apart.
Yeah.
On the day of the move, Luke is in the loft with dad, and he comes across a mysterious box that's marked top secret, do not open.
Of course you're going to open that box.
Of course, he brings it down and hides it, and he opens the box and finds inside a whole lot of documents that relate to a scout camp in 1983 where there was a murder. And one by one he photographs the documents and sends them to Ava, and they secretly solve the mystery, and they solve things that weren't solved at the time until they realise that this mystery still has elements of danger left in it.
Excellent. That sounds absolutely incredible. So do please go and try and pick this up. I'm assuming it's available in all sorts of stores.
Yes, all good bookstores.
And where can people follow you, maybe on social media if they want to check?
On Twitter, at Janice Hallett there. On Instagram, at janice.hallett there. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm on Threads. I'm even on TikTok now.
Wow.
Although I don't post very often.
Yeah, we've launched into that venture, so hopefully we'll find your profile.
Excellent.
Yeah, so yes, we are becoming the generations that are forcing our way into TikTok through our promotion. So yeah, please do and go pick this up. And yeah, it would be great if you could sign this.
Absolutely.
It would be fantastic. And I think, because I opened it up and had a look, it says this book is for you because you dare to open the box, which is brilliant. So on that page would be a perfect place.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And what's her name?
Her name is Ira, E-I-R-A.
E-I-R-A.
Yes, and she would, I'm assuming, be well into this book as the same age as the characters. So
Oh, really? Excellent.
yes, fantastic. But yeah, so thank you guys for tuning into this. Fantastic to see Janice here, and the festival's been fantastic, and we're doing a lot of interviews and having a great time meeting new people. And that's what this festival is all about, and it's a great experience. So if you're ever thinking about doing it, take that step. Just like the writing advice we heard this year, just do it. And you'll never know. You might not look back. It might be the best thing you've done. So to wrap it up, let's see what one piece of advice then, based on what this book is about and the inspiration it gives people. So for my daughter being a 9-year-old that has started looking into sort of creation of stories, what piece of advice would you give a young person about getting into writing?
I would say keep writing and love writing. If you love writing and nurture that enthusiasm for it, it will show through and you'll connect with your readers. So love what you do.
Love what you do. Brilliant. Janice, thank you so much. You've been wonderful to chat to, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Very welcome. Thanks, guys.